Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into some more cool stuff. This time, it's AI chatbots.
The AI chatbots, yeah.
But hold on, we're not talking about just ChatGPT. Everyone's heard of ChatGPT.
Right.
We're going deeper. Think ChatGPT alternatives, the stuff that's maybe even cooler that most people haven't really discovered yet. We found this awesome thesis, actually. It's a deep dive into all these different chatbots that are directly trying to compete with ChatGPT.
Yeah, and it's really interesting how they're going about it. Like, the whole approach is different.
That's what we're going to unpack today.
Yeah.
So first things first, the thesis kind of starts by saying, okay, ChatGPT, it's cool, it's impressive, but, it's not perfect.
It definitely has its limitations, yeah. Like, we've all seen those posts online where it gets things totally wrong.
Oh, yeah, those are hilarious. But the thesis is, saying it's more than just funny mistakes. There are, actual technical reasons why ChatGPT messes up sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, one big thing is the data it uses. It's this massive data set, which is amazing, but it's static. It's not updating in real time.
So it's, stuck in the past, kinda?
Kinda, yeah. Like, imagine trying to learn about today's news from a newspaper from 5 years ago.
Oh, that makes sense. It wouldn't work very well.
Nope, and that's why ChatGPT can struggle with current events or, anything that changes quickly.
Gotcha. So how are these other chatbots, these alternatives, doing things differently?
Well, they're all about specialization. It's like each one is choosing a specific area and becoming an expert in that. The thesis focuses on three main ones. Google's Bard, there's Jasper, and then YouChat.
Ooh, okay. So let's break them down one by one, starting with Bard, I guess. What's Bard all about?
Bard is like the king of real-time information. It's hooked directly into Google search, so it's constantly pulling in the latest news, research trends.
So unlike ChatGPT, Bard's actually, up to date.
Big time, yeah.
Okay, that's a huge advantage. But how does that actually work, though? Is it just, spitting out Google search results?
No, it's much more sophisticated than that. Bard is using, a bunch of fancy technology. It's got natural language processing, machine learning. It's basically reading and understanding tons of information and then summarizing it for you in a way that makes sense.
Whoa. So it's like having your own personal research assistant constantly scouring the internet.
Exactly. Like, imagine you're writing an article about, I don't know, the latest U.S.-China tensions.
Okay, yeah.
You could ask Bard, hey, summarize the current situation, and boom, it gives you this detailed overview, all up to date with citations and everything.
That would be so helpful. No more digging through, a million articles and websites.
Exactly. And with ChatGPT, you might get information that's outdated or just plain wrong. Bard's much more reliable for that kind of thing.
Okay, Bard real-time info, got it. What about Jasper? What's its superpower?
Jasper is the creative one. Think content creation, blog posts, marketing copy, even scripts and poetry.
Wait, poetry. A chatbot writing poetry. Is it any good?
Surprisingly, yeah. The thesis talks about this case study where they had Jasper write a blog post about mindfulness meditation.
Okay, interesting.
And it was actually good, well-structured, 500 words, even had some stats in there to back things up.
Wow, that's impressive. So, for marketers or writers, Jasper would be a lifesaver.
Totally. It's like having an AI writing partner helping you come up with ideas or just getting the words on the page.
Okay, Bard info, Jasper creativity. What about YouChat? What's its niche?
YouChat is all about accuracy. It's obsessed with getting things right.
That's a good obsession to have, I guess, especially with all the misinformation out there.
Definitely. And it's using some super advanced algorithms to achieve that. The thesis has this example where they asked YouChat about quantum computing, a pretty complex topic.
Yeah, definitely not my area of expertise.
Right. But YouChat gave this really clear explanation, even someone who knows nothing about quantum physics could understand it.
So YouChat's the one you go to when you need to be sure the information is actually correct.
Exactly. For research or just learning something new, it's super valuable,
Yeah.
especially compared to, say, ChatGPT, which might give you a simplified or even inaccurate answer.
Right. Okay, so we've got our three contenders, Bard for real-time info, Jasper for creativity, and YouChat for accuracy.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is how this reflects a bigger trend in AI. It's not just about creating one chatbot that does everything okay.
It's more like finding the right tool for the job.
Yeah, exactly. Specializing. And that's where things get really exciting.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, imagine a world where, for any problem you have, there's a specific AI expert that can help you solve it. Need to write a presentation? Boom, there's an AI for that. Stuck on a coding problem? There's an AI for that too.
Like a whole toolbox of AI specialists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're all getting really good at their one specific thing, like way better than any general purpose AI could ever be.
So instead of having one AI that's kind of okay at everything,
Right.
we have a bunch of AIs that are like amazing at their one thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the thesis goes even further. It talks about the potential for these like specialized AIs to actually start working together.
Wait, what? Like collaborating?
Yeah. Like imagine them sharing information and insights, helping each other to solve even more complex problems.
Well, hold on. Are we talking like a super-powered AI network here?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting into like sci-fi territory, but the thesis is arguing that this is where AI is headed. And it could have huge implications for like everything. Science, medicine, you name it.
Okay, now my mind is officially blown. Specialized AIs, collaborative networks, this is getting intense. But before we get too carried away with the future,
Right.
let's bring it back to the present. Where do we fit into all of this? I mean, with AI getting so powerful, what does it mean for us humans?
That's a great question, and the thesis actually tackles that head on. It stresses that even with all these advancements, AI is still just a tool.
A tool, okay.
Yeah, and like any tool, it's only as effective as the person using it.
So it's not about AI replacing humans, it's more about...
Augmenting them, yeah. Helping us to be better, smarter, more efficient.
Okay, so AI as a partner, not a replacement.
Exactly. And the thesis makes this interesting point about how AI specialization could actually help us become better thinkers ourselves.
Really? How so?
Well, think about it. If you have an AI that's really good at, say, analyzing data or doing complex calculations,
Yeah.
you can offload those tasks to the AI. That frees up your brain to focus on the more creative, strategic stuff.
So instead of getting bogged down in the details,
Exactly.
you can focus on the big picture. That makes sense.
And that's where humans excel, right? We're not as good at like crunching numbers, but we're amazing at making connections, seeing patterns, coming up with innovative solutions.
So it's about each side playing to its strengths.
Exactly. AI and humans working together, not against each other.
Okay. I like that. It's a much more optimistic view of the future.
Right. And that's kind of the whole point the thesis is making. It's not about AI taking over. It's about AI helping us to unlock our full potential.
But finding that balance, like between AI and human intelligence,
Right.
that's going to take some serious effort, right? We can't just like sit back and let the AIs figure it all out.
Definitely not. The thesis really emphasizes human agency. Like, we need to be proactive in shaping the future of AI, not just reacting to it.
Okay, so being proactive, what does that actually look like?
Well, it starts with understanding the technology. The more people know about AI, its capabilities, its limitations, the better equipped we'll be to make good decisions about its development and use.
So education is key.
Big time, yeah. And then it's about having these open conversations like the one we're having right now. We need to be talking about the ethics of AI, the potential risks, and how we can mitigate those risks.
Right, not just blindly embracing the technology, but really thinking critically about its implications.
Exactly. And ultimately, it's about action. Like supporting organizations that are promoting ethical AI development, advocating for responsible AI policies, making our voices heard.
So it's not just about talking about AI, it's about doing something about it.
Exactly. And everyone has a role to play, from everyday users to policymakers to the developers themselves.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've gone from specialized chatbots to like the potential for a global AI network. And it's clear that this technology is going to have a huge impact on like every aspect of our lives.
Definitely.
But before we get too lost in the big picture, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, AI and education. Like, how could this technology change the way we learn?
Oh, that's where things get really exciting. Imagine a world where every student has access to a personalized AI
And a
tutor.
personalized tutor. Okay, now that's cool.
Right, like an AI that adapts to your learning style, your pace, your interests. It can identify your strengths and weaknesses, help you overcome challenges, and push you to excel in areas where you're already doing well.
That would be amazing. Like having a teacher who's completely dedicated to your success 24/7.
Exactly. And we're already seeing some of this with like adaptive learning platforms. They use AI to personalize the learning experience, adjust the difficulty level, and give you feedback in real time.
So it's like a custom tailored education.
Exactly. And as AI gets more sophisticated, these personalized learning experiences are only going to get better.
Okay, but what about human teachers? Do they just disappear in this AI-powered future?
No, not at all. The thesis argues that the role of teachers will evolve. They'll become more like facilitators, mentors, guides. Like they'll be there to provide support and guidance, to foster creativity and collaboration, to inspire and motivate students.
So it's not about replacing teachers with robots. It's about...
Augmenting them, yeah.
Yeah.
Giving them the tools to be even more effective.
Okay, so AI and human teachers working together, that makes sense. But even with all these potential benefits, there are still some big questions about, like, equity and access, right?
Right, like how do we ensure that everyone benefits from AI, not just those who can afford the latest technology?
Exactly.
And that's something we need to be really thoughtful about as we design and deploy these AI systems. We need to be intentional about making them accessible and equitable for everyone.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the values we embed in that technology.
Exactly. And that takes us back to the idea of human agency. We have a responsibility to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
This is a lot to take in. We've gone from, like, specific chatbot alternatives to these huge societal implications. It's clear that AI is going to have a profound impact on our world.
Absolutely. And it's up to us to make sure that impact is a positive one.
Okay, so before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to touch on one more thing that the thesis talks about. It's the idea of AI as a potential equalizer, like a way to level the playing field and give everyone a chance to reach their full potential.
Yeah, that's a powerful concept. Imagine a world where access to knowledge and opportunity isn't limited by your background or circumstances, where everyone has the tools to learn, grow, and create, regardless of their starting point.
That's a future I can get behind. But how do we actually get there? How do we make sure that AI is used to empower everyone, not just a select few?
Well, it starts with awareness. We need to be having these conversations, raising these questions, and pushing for policies that promote equity and inclusivity in the development and deployment of AI.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the choices we make about how we use it.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
This deep dive has been incredible. We've explored the fascinating world of AI chatbots, and it's clear that this technology has the potential to revolutionize everything from the way we work to the way we learn. But it's also clear that we need to be thoughtful and intentional about how we develop and deploy AI to ensure that it benefits all of humanity.
I completely agree. The future of AI is in our hands, and it's up to us to make it a future we can all be proud of.
That's a perfect note to end on. So, to our listeners, I encourage you to stay curious, stay engaged, and join the conversation about the future of AI. It's a conversation that affects us all, and it's one that we can't afford to ignore.
Well said.
Yeah.
And remember, the choices we made today will shape the world of tomorrow.
Yeah, AI as a force for good, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
But how do we actually make sure that happens? Like, how do we steer AI in the right direction, especially when it's changing so fast?
Well, the thesis talks about this idea of like human agency, which is basically like us humans taking control, making conscious decisions about how AI develops.
Okay, so not just letting it happen, but actively shaping it.
Exactly. And it starts with education. The more people understand about AI, how it works, what it can and can't do,
Yeah.
the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions about it.
So it's like AI literacy is key.
Totally.
Hmm.
And then it's about having these open conversations, debating the ethical implications, the potential risks, and how we can mitigate those risks.
All right, like not just focusing on the cool, shiny new tech, but also thinking about the potential downsides.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's about action, like supporting organizations that are promoting ethical AI development, advocating for responsible AI policies, making our voices heard.
So it's not just about talking about AI, it's about actually doing something about it.
Exactly. And everyone has a role to play, from everyday users to policymakers to the developers themselves.
Okay, I get it. Education, conversation, action. But let's zoom out for a second. We've been talking a lot about the big picture, like the societal impact of AI.
Yeah.
But what about the personal impact? Like, how can AI actually help us as individuals?
Oh, there are so many possibilities. Like, think about healthcare. AI can help doctors diagnose diseases earlier, personalize treatment plans, even discover new cures.
Wow, that's incredible.
Right. And then there's the whole world of personalized learning that we talked about before. AI tutors that adapt to your learning style, help you overcome challenges, and reach your full potential.
Yeah, that was mind-blowing. It's like having a personal coach for your brain.
Exactly. And then think about creativity. AI can be a powerful tool for artists, musicians, writers. It can help you generate new ideas, explore different styles, even create entirely new forms of art.
So AI is not just for techies and scientists.
Not at all. It has the potential to benefit everyone, in every field, in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here, but I have to admit, I'm still a little bit nervous about all this. Like, what if AI gets too powerful? What if it starts making decisions for us instead of the other way around?
That's a valid concern, and it's something we need to be really careful about. But that's why this whole idea of human agency is so important.
Right, like us humans staying in control.
Exactly. We need to be the ones setting the goals, defining the values, and making sure that AI is used for good.
But how do we do that? I mean, AI is developing so fast, it feels like it's almost outpacing our ability to understand it, let alone control it.
That's a challenge, for sure. But it's not impossible. It starts with education, like we talked about before. We need to make sure that everyone has a basic understanding of how AI works, what its capabilities and limitations are.
Okay, so knowledge is power.
Exactly. And then we need to be having these open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI, the
Mhm.
potential risks, and how we can mitigate those risks.
Right, like not just burying our heads in the sand and hoping for the best.
Exactly. We need to be proactive, not reactive.
But it's not just about talking, right? It's also about action.
Absolutely. We need to be advocating for responsible AI policies, supporting organizations that are working to promote ethical AI development, and holding the people who are creating and deploying AI accountable.
So it's a collective effort. We all have a responsibility to make sure that AI is used for good.
Exactly. And the thesis argues that this is not just a technological challenge, it's a societal challenge. It's about who we are as humans, what values we hold dear, and what kind of future we want to create.
Whoa, that's deep.
Yeah, it is. But it's also incredibly exciting because we have the power to shape this future. We're not just passive observers, we're active participants.
So it's not all doom and gloom. There's hope.
Absolutely. There's a lot of work to do, but I'm optimistic. I think we can create a future where AI is a force for good, a tool that helps us solve our biggest challenges and create a more just and equitable world.
Okay, I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful now, but I still have so many questions. Like, what does this future actually look like? How will AI change our lives in the years to come?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the thesis doesn't offer any easy answers. It paints a picture of a future that's both exciting and uncertain, full of possibilities and challenges.
So we're basically on the edge of the unknown.
Yeah, kinda. But that's what makes it so thrilling. We're explorers, venturing into uncharted territory. And we have the power to shape the landscape as we go.
I love that analogy. It's like we're pioneers, forging a new path for humanity.
Exactly. And the thesis argues that this journey is not just about technological innovation, it's about human evolution. It's about us becoming more than we ever thought possible.
Okay, now you're really blowing my mind. AI as a catalyst for human evolution, that's a big idea.
It is, but it's also an idea that's gaining traction. More and more people are starting to see AI not as a threat, but as an opportunity for us to transcend our limitations and reach new heights.
But how do we actually do that? Like, how do we harness the power of AI to evolve as a species?
Well, the thesis suggests that it starts with education, like we talked about before. We need to understand AI, its capabilities, its limitations, so we can use it wisely and ethically.
Okay, education is key, but it's also about mindset, right?
Totally. We need to be open-minded, curious, willing to embrace new ideas and ways of thinking.
So it's like AI is pushing us to evolve not just technologically, but also intellectually and even spiritually.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole conversation so fascinating. It's not just about bits and bytes. It's about the very nature of consciousness, the meaning of life, and our place in the universe.
Whoa, okay, we've gone from chatbots to the meaning of life. This deep dive is really taking us on a wild ride.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. AI is forcing us to confront some of the biggest questions humanity has ever faced.
Mm.
And in the process, it's helping us to discover who we truly are.
Well, this deep dive has given me a lot to think about. It's clear that AI is more than just a technology. It's a force that's reshaping our world and ourselves in profound ways. But before we get too lost in the philosophical implications,
Right.
let's bring it back to something a little bit more practical.
Sure.
We've talked about the potential for AI to revolutionize healthcare, education, creativity. But what about the everyday stuff? Like, how will AI impact our daily lives in the near future?
Oh, there are already so many ways that AI is making our lives easier and more efficient. Like, think about those virtual assistants on our phones.
Yeah, like Siri and Alexa.
Exactly. They're powered by AI, and they're constantly getting better at understanding our requests and helping us get things done.
Right, like setting reminders, playing music, even controlling our smart home devices.
Totally. And then there's AI in our cars, helping us navigate traffic, find parking spots, and even avoid accidents.
So AI is already all around us, even if we don't always realize it.
Exactly. And as AI continues to develop, we can expect to see even more applications in our daily lives. Like, imagine personalized shopping experiences, where AI recommends products based on your preferences and past purchases.
Oh, that would be dangerous for my wallet.
Right. But it could also be really convenient, like no more scrolling through endless pages of search results, just the stuff you actually want to see.
Okay, that's pretty cool. What else?
Well, think about travel. AI can help you plan your trips, find the best deals on flights and hotels, and even translate languages in real time.
So, no more awkward fumbling with phrase books.
Exactly. AI can break down those language barriers and make it easier to connect with people from all over the world.
Okay, I'm starting to see how AI can really improve our quality of life. But there are still some concerns, right? Like, what about privacy? With AI collecting so much data about us, how do we make sure that information is protected?
That's a really important question, and it's something that we need to be very mindful of. We need to make sure that AI is developed and deployed in a way that respects our privacy and protects our personal data.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the ethical principles that guide its use.
Exactly. And that's where things get tricky, because there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Yeah.
We need to have these ongoing conversations about what privacy means in the age of AI and how we can balance the benefits of this technology with the need to protect our personal information.
Right, like finding the right balance between convenience and security.
Exactly. And it's not going to be easy, but it's a conversation we need to be having.
Okay, so we've gone from personalized tutors to travel assistants to the ethics of data privacy. This deep dive is covering a lot of ground, but I think we're starting to get a sense of the vast potential of AI to impact our lives, both for good and for bad.
Absolutely. And the thesis argues that this is just the beginning. We're on the cusp of a major technological revolution, and AI is going to be at the forefront of it.
So buckle up, everyone. The future is going to be wild.
Yeah, hold on tight. It's going to be a ride.
But it's also exciting, right? Like, think about all the problems we could solve with AI. Climate change, poverty, disease.
Yeah, absolutely. The thesis touches on that too. It's like AI could be this incredible tool for good if we use it the right way.
So it's not just about making our life easier or more efficient. It's about, like, tackling the big global challenges.
Exactly. And the thesis argues that this is where, like, human collaboration becomes even more important.
Collaboration.
Yeah, like we need people from all different backgrounds, scientists, ethicists, policymakers, everyday citizens,
Right.
all working together to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone.
So it's not just about the tech itself, it's about the people behind the tech.
Exactly. And that's something the thesis really emphasizes. It's like, we can't just leave it up to the engineers and the coders to figure this all out.
We all have a responsibility to be involved in shaping the future of AI.
Exactly. And that's why things like education and public awareness are so important.
Right, like, the more people understand about AI, the better equipped they'll be to have a say in how it's developed and used.
Totally. And it's not just about understanding the technical stuff. It's also about, like, the ethical considerations, the societal impact, the big questions.
So it's like AI literacy is not just about knowing how the technology works. It's about understanding its implications for humanity.
Exactly. And that's a conversation that we need to be having, like, right now. We can't wait until AI is fully developed and out in the world before we start thinking about these things.
Okay, I get it. We need to be proactive, not reactive. But it can feel overwhelming, Like, where do we even start?
Well, the thesis offers a few suggestions. Like, one thing is to support organizations that are working to promote ethical AI development. There are a lot of great groups out there doing really important work.
So, like, putting our money where our mouth is.
Yeah, kind of. And also just talking about AI with our friends, family, colleagues, raising awareness, having those conversations.
Right, like making it a part of our everyday dialogue.
Exactly. And then there's the whole political side of things,
Right.
advocating for responsible AI policies, making sure that our governments are taking this seriously.
So it's about individual action, but also collective action.
Exactly. We need both.
Yeah.
It's a big challenge, but I think it's one we can meet if we work together.
Okay, I'm feeling a little bit more empowered now, like knowing that I can actually do something to help shape the future of AI.
And that's the whole point, right? It's not about being afraid of AI or trying to stop it. It's about understanding it, embracing it, and guiding it in a direction that benefits all of humanity.
Well, this deep dive has been incredible. We've gone from specialized chatbots to the potential for a global AI network to the ethical challenges and the opportunities this technology presents. It's clear that AI is going to have a profound impact on our world, and it's up to us to make sure that impact is a positive one.
I couldn't agree more. It's an exciting time to be alive, and I'm really optimistic about the future as long as we approach AI with wisdom, compassion, and a commitment to the common good.
That's a great message to end on. So, to our listeners, I encourage you to stay curious, stay engaged, and join the conversation about the future of AI. It's a conversation that affects us all, and it's one that we can't afford to ignore. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me. It's been a great conversation.